our coast for many years to come. Here in British Columbia, it's an excellent place if you want to see whales, or porpoises, or dolphins. They're known as cetaceans collectively, but some are mysterious. Let me tell you something. Back 2,000 years ago, there was one all over the place, and then it simply disappeared. Nobody really knows why. And then something happened. This was seen up in the northern islands of British Columbia in the late 1950s. Just a couple of fishermen in their boats being like, what was that? Well, we're at a dolphin show. That's a pretty good guess there, but can anyone tell me what kind that was that we just saw? Now, fast kind, you're right. It was the return, after 2,000 years of being, for whatever reason, away, we still don't know why, the return of the Pacific white-sided dolphin. Since the mid-80s, we've been seeing them more and more frequently around the Strait of Georgia, but right here at the Vancouver Aquarium, we have the opportunity to connect you with two very inspirational dolphins. And that's with the help of Charlotte, who's joining us down here on the dock. But who wants to get to know the dolphins? All right, well, here is Helen and Hannah. And they've got some impressive moves to show you. So, I think the gull kind of distracted us here. But let's look at this here. Take two. So definitely some of the more impressive things that we do know these animals for are their splashing. And we'll see a lot of that throughout the program. It's what they're known for. So let's give it a warm, welcoming round of applause to both Charlotte and Helen and Hannah. We do have an opportunity to connect and engage people with issues that these animals represent. The ocean, well, faces things like marine debris, pollution, and overfishing, just to name a few. But we have an opportunity to really understand that with the help of these two dolphins. In order to do research, well, we have to do what you're going to watch. This is a training session in action. Trainers go out every single day to build and maintain a very strong relationship with the animals, to give you a better idea of what it's like to work with these dolphins, as well as tell you about their personal story. I will pass the microphone over to Charlotte.
Thanks, Jen. Both of our dolphins are what we refer to as rescued and rehabilitated animals. They were both found entangled in fixed fishing nets off the coast of Japan and brought to a rehabilitation facility where they were deemed non-releasable. Luckily, we've been able to provide them with a permanent home here at the Wild Coast. Working with me today are the beautiful Helen and Hannah. They've both been here since 2005, and we've been able to build and maintain a trusting relationship with both of them in order to provide them with the best possible care through training and regular checkups. Everything that we learn through their health care is used to help researchers and veterinarians to gain a better understanding of these mysterious dolphins. In fact, every day that we spend with them reveals more information about their species as well as their individual personalities, which, believe it or not, are just as different as you and I. But most of all, Helen and Hannah remind us every day that we still have a lot to learn about cetaceans. Back to you, Jen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Charlotte. These are very mysterious dolphins. We don't know everything about them, but one thing we figured out is where you can see them. And that range begins right here in the North Pacific Ocean. So it goes all the way down to Mexico, and then you see them right here in North America, all the way up to Alaska, and then even across those Aleutian Islands, pretty chilly waters, towards Japan. But because they're local, some of you may have actually seen them before. I'm curious, has anyone ever seen this kind of dolphin out in the oceans? Okay, awesome. Your hand always goes up right away if you have. And if you haven't, do you want to? Yes, you probably do. This is an excellent place for whale watching or going over to Vancouver Island on a ferry. There's a high likelihood of seeing these animals as well as other whales and dolphins and porpoises. There's 23 different species. When we do see them, though, we want to know about it. And you can tell us at wildwhales.org. That's the website to track the movements of these animals through the BC Cetacean Sightings Network. We started it back quite a few years ago in order to figure out who comes, who goes, who's local, who's just visiting. And some of these animals are pretty rare. Like the full scuba whale that is spending some time right now at our world-class marine mammal Animal Rescue Center. Some sightings lead to these kinds of incidences where animals need our help. And so now it's hopefully going to be eventually introduced to the oceans and once it receives this world-class care. But we wouldn't be able to do that without knowing what our neighbors are like. And you might be wondering, how am I going to tell the difference between all these kinds of animals? Well, we can practice. We can make you experts on what to look for when you're seeing a Pacific white-sided dolphin. When you check out Helen and Hannah's bodies right now, the first thing you'll notice is their camouflage. Because of that white-sided name, you'll see they have brilliant white bellies as well as those sides, and it's contrasted by some dark gray streaky shading on top. A beautiful pattern, but very effective to blend in with your surroundings. It's called counter shading, and it blends in with the light from above and the darkness from below. Another attribute is their size. Both these females are adults and fully grown. So what you look for is something that's about 7.5 feet long or 2.3 meters. Yeah. Smaller, grayer animals, those are typically harbor porpoises around our coast here. But the most identifying feature when it comes to these dolphins is right on their back. It's their dorsal fin. So if you've got cameras or cell phones, try to take a picture of them as they move around in this habitat here. It might not be as easy as you think, because again, yes, they are pretty quick. But as Hannah leaps around now, you may notice that her fin is quite triangular, and Helen's, as she moves about, look for how it goes into a curve and a point. These two differences are just a small bit of what makes them unique. Because the dorsal fin to them is like a signature, like fingerprints to us, no two are identical. The reason why we want to know more about these animals, well, we want to also make sure they're safe. And that means that we don't want to get too close. If you're going to go whale watching, do your research, then make sure that they abide by those rules. Because boats need to maintain a safe distance of 100 meters or about just over 300 feet in Canadian waters. Don't worry if you think that's far away, because these dolphins really do have a way of attracting our attention. I'm sure you'll be watching for this. And what's more, we just got a little sample of it, as these dolphins are quite highly vocal. They have a wide variety of sounds that they can make, sometimes unusual and not the familiar ones. And, well, if we are lucky, let's listen in to see if we can get a sample from Helen and Hannah right here. Honestly, let's give a round of applause. Now that you know what to look and listen for, well, I hope everyone gets a chance to see one of those dolphins and knows exactly what it is. And that way you can add to the information when you tell us. One of my favorite sightings, I saw 10 of them in front of English Bay once. Some have actually seen hundreds, and the rare few have observed thousands around Howe Sound, just north of Vancouver here. We don't know why or where they come from, but one thing is for sure, the dolphins in the oceans are facing major threats. As we heard from Charlotte, both these dolphins are rescues. They are found at separate times, accidentally in fishing nets, and we do see the stars here today. Especially in Helen's body, her flippers were partially removed, just to save her life. It's one of those hard reminders that humans are the biggest threat to the oceans today, and that includes all the animals in it. But it's our responsibility to then make it a safer place. And here at the Vancouver Aquarium, we're doing groundbreaking research with the help of Helen and Hannah that you simply can't do out in the oceans in order to protect it. Let me tell you about one of those research projects. We were doing one to get to know more about this mysteriously playful dolphin you see right here. All of these behaviors, yeah, they are really fast. Look at Hannah. You're in the underwater viewing area. Well, you might have missed her if you blinked. They travel upwards of 35 kilometers or over 22 miles per hour. That's crazy. And all of these sort of splashes and leaps, well, they seem to be just doing it for fun. But doesn't that mean they're using a lot of energy? That's what we wanted to know, is how much food do these dolphins need to eat? Well, finally in 2012, we got incredible results. The Pacific white-sided dolphin needs to eat 15,000 calories every single day. So in a dolphin's terms, that's 80 herring each. If you want to try to keep up as a human being, that's like you eating 50 cheeseburgers every every single day. Isn't that a lot of food? Yeah, every dolphin needs to eat about that much. And because overfishing is the #1 threat facing our oceans, well, that's definitely cause for concern. But like I said, we're doing our part. Hopefully we can make the oceans a safer place through this research. And you can too. When you contribute with every sighting you report, you're helping to make the oceans a safer place. Look around this habitat here, you'll see wildwhales.org, that logo. You know what to report your sightings to. The Vancouver Aquarium is a non-profit organization dedicated to the conservation of aquatic life. And it's with your help that we'll ensure that we see these incredible dolphins thrive along our coast for many years to come. My name is Jen, on behalf of myself, and of course Charlotte down the dock. But on behalf of the dolphins, Helen and Hannah, we all want to thank you so much for coming and joining us at the Dolphin Show. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your time here at the Vancouver Aquarium. Perfect, thank you so much. We do have another program coming up. Again, that was the last Dolphin Show, but not the last one indeed. So at 5:15, we will be caring for belugas over at the far other side of our outdoor habitat.